Got a couple more examples for you here. This is still just factor by grouping to solve the equation. So if we're going to solve this, notice that every term has an x this time, and every term can be divided by 3. So what I'm going to do to start is I'm going to factor out a 3x, okay? Because 3 and x go into all of those. So this term becomes just an x to the third power. And then this one becomes a 3x to the second power. This one will become an 8x. And then 72 divided by 3, well, feels like 24. Yeah, 24 times 3 is 72. Okay. And then minus 24. All this equals 0. So I already know one of my factors, 3x, I could set that equal to 0, and that would be one of my answers. So x equals 0. Got that one. All right, for the rest of it here, let's factor by grouping. So this half, they have an x squared in common. So x squared, that'll be an x minus 3. And then this half, they have an 8 in common. Plus, you'll have an 8, and then it'll be an x minus 3. Kind of know just by looking at that. All right, technically you're supposed to bring that down, but I already know it's going to give me an x equals 0. So both halves, they have an x minus 3 in common. So we'll factor that out. The remaining part will be an x squared, because that times that gives you this. And the next part will be an 8, because that times 8 gives you that. All right, so it's in factored form. Set each factor equal to 0 and solve. This one is going to give us an x equals positive 3. So we have 2 of our answers. This one, x squared plus 8 equals 0. You'll subtract 8. And now when you square root both sides, so x will equal, see here, plus or minus, well, the square root of a negative, I know there's going to be an I on the outside, and then you'll have the square root of 8. All right? You might want to simplify the square root of 8. It's up to you. I mean, this could be your answer, or you could, square root of 8 is equal to the square root of 4 and the square root of 2. So you could have 2 root 2, and you have that I. So plus or minus 2i root 2 if you wanted to do it that way. But this is a good enough answer for me. All right. In this one, we've got 2 variables. We're going to factor by grouping. No equation, though. In the first half, they have a 3 that's in common, and they have an x squared in common. Right? The next part's going to be 2x, because 3 times 2 is 6, and x squared times x gives you x to the third. This will be a minus y. All right, 3x squared times y, 3x squared y. That's it. The next half, they have a 2 in common, and they have a y in common. Right? It's probably going to be 2x minus y, but 2y times something, so we have a 2 to get the 4, and we need an x as well. And then minus, and then this will be a y, because 2y times y is 2y squared. Now we'll factor out a 2x minus y. And this is going to be a 3x squared and a plus 2y. All right. Yeah. 2x minus y times that gives you the left half. And 2x minus y times that gives you the right half. That's all.